Well, hello. My name is Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks. What? You're pointing to something, James. Tell me what you're pointing to.
Well, you were facing forward over here, but you were looking over there.
Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, I go back and forth. So anyway, tonight, and this is
Yes, James Maynard, otherwise known as Sweet Baby James.
okay. So what I want to talk to you about tonight on Granny Rocks is change, loss, and disorientation. Who am I? Where am I? And
Mm.
how they connect and how they feel. And I've been going through a lot of this lately, so I have a lot to say on the topic. But before I do, let's get Sweet Baby James in there to talk about our show. Like, if you're new, especially, like, where are you? Where have you landed?
Well, you have landed on planet Granny Rocks. So, welcome, welcome. We're glad to have you here. And this is our opportunity to experience every Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Granny's wit, her wisdom, and her very uncommon sense. So, take it away, Granny.
Okay, so guys, if you've been following our show at all, you know that we've recently, like last week, rehomed our puppy dog, and I've been grieving like crazy. And I've also noticed that not only am I grieving, but I'm also nuts. I can't think. I mean, of course, I'm depressed and all of those things. But then it made me think about why, other than the obvious, the missing, obviously the missing, but there's a lot more involved than just the missing of this dog. And I realized that it has to do with disorientation, my topic.
By the way, we have several hellos already.
Oh, goody.
Elizabeth says hello and sends a heart of love.
Hello, Elizabeth.
And Catalina says hello with a big wave of the hand. And Tracy says hola and sends a heart.
Okay, wonderful. So, it's not always tragedy. Sometimes we have a change and a loss that we're happy about, and yet this phenomenon of disorientation happens anyway. So I want to get into this. So let's say you know somebody and she's been complaining about her husband forever. He is such a jerk. I can't stand him. He snores. He's selfish. He's self-centered. He goes and he leaves me alone. He gambles. He takes all the money. He drinks. He beats the children. He's like anyway. So, and then suddenly he dies. My loving husband is gone. Okay, all right. So, am I making fun of this person? No, I'm just talking about it, right? I do the same thing. Oh, okay, the person that, or maybe you even get divorced. I should never have listened to my Aunt Mabel who told me to divorce the guy. Now I'm all alone and I'm so depressed and I'm so, okay. I get it. I feel for you. I actually do feel for you because I have gone through the same thing, by the way. I can't wait for that guy to leave, but oh no, he's gone. So now it's not just that. You know, we can complain about our jobs forever and then suddenly we lose them. Oh no, I've lost my job. For us, it's we've lost our puppy. Oh yeah, we were always complaining. She's barking, she's waking us up, she's tearing things apart. Oh, she's darling, but, and we knew we had to rehome her, so you would think we would be jumping up with joy. Yay! No.
Not exactly.
No, we're in the dumps. We're in the dumps. So now I want to talk about this. Now, is anybody identifying?
I
James,
am.
are you
I am.
also watching?
Oh,
You
Todd
are.
also says hi.
Hello,
Hello, Todd.
Todd. So I have noticed that my brain is very warped these days. I'm not thinking straight. I've been just crying and crying, but I'm also exhausted and I can't think, and I'm wrenched with regrets and all kinds of despair, and I can't think straight. Why? Because I'm disoriented. See, that's what I want to talk about. That, now, I'm not saying that when we lose somebody, we don't actually also lose love. Very often we are losing love. It may be the only love we have in our lives, you know. And that is so hard. But I can leave that topic, you know, pretty much alone because we all know what it's like to lose love, right? Even if it isn't a lot, it may be all we have. But I want to talk about the disorientation part. Okay, so let's take the puppy for example, but I'm not going to stay with the puppy.
Okay.
Who am I? I am the owner, the proud mother of this darling, gorgeous little Havanese puppy, and I belong in the exclusive club of Havanese puppy owners. Now, it looks like we
Big
have
hi from Richard.
Hello, Richard. So, I have an identity as a puppy owner. I am now without that identity. Uh-oh, who am I? Now, let's say I'm a person who used to take my puppy to the dog park. Well, as you know, I'm crippled, disabled. I'm never going to a dog park. But let's say I did, for example, just to give you an idea. So, I now lose all my friends at the dog park. So not only have I lost the puppy, I've lost my friends at the dog park. Maybe I think people don't like me, but, you know, they don't have to like me. I'm going to say, hi, Julia, how's your puppy? How is Harold doing? And suddenly, I don't have that experience of myself anymore as being a member of the elite of the dog park people, right? I've lost my connections there. Let's say the
You've
puppy.
also lost a certain culture, this little subculture you were in.
That's right. Exactly. So it's disoriented. Now let's take a look at another aspect of it. This little puppy used to eat everything in sight, right? Tear up things and all that. So what did we have to do? We had to close every door. Did we? No. So we always have a mess in the house. But anyway, she would go and she would tear apart pillows and cushions and shoes. And so we always had to close the door. Now she's not there. What do? Are we supposed to close the door?
No.
James, are we supposed to close the door? But it doesn't feel right. The door is open. Something is wrong. I'm disoriented. I'm used to having closed doors, and now I have to make a choice. Do I want to close the door? Would I rather not? Let's keep the doors open. Now, I always knew she was going to bark. Okay, so if I was going to go outside with her, it was going to be bark, 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 bark. And so I knew what I was going to do. I was going to say, Evie, stop. Quiet, Evie. Quiet, 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 quiet. Gave me something to do. Right now I go outside. I have nothing to do. I'm not quelling the barking beast. Do you understand what I'm saying, James?
I know it.
You
know it.
You know what I'm saying? So suddenly I have all this time. And I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to do with myself. There's nobody barking, and there's no chaos. And even though I didn't like it, are you following me?
Yeah. You can get used to negative things going on and on and on and on and on, and then feel a missing when they're stopped.
Right, James. I'm not seeing your voice.
Do I have a voice here? Yes, I do.
It's pretty low. All right.
Okay.
You've got to get this closer to your
Closer.
mouth, I
Oh
think.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. Do you have your little light on, honey?
Oh yeah. It's
Okay.
on. This little
Okay.
light of mine, I
And that
will
one
let
is
it
on too?
shine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so you understand what I'm saying? That puppy gave a structure to my life. Now, another thing that the puppy gave me was hope I could move back to the country. I love the country. I don't want to be in the country at my age by myself without a barking dog. Now suddenly I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Now I've lost my connection. I can't I can't do that either. You know what I mean? Is that supposing somebody comes and kills me in the middle of the night, well then I won't have to worry about it anymore. But you see what I mean? Nobody will be alerting me. So it's everything becomes an issue, a question. I have to figure out what to do with my time. How much of my time and energy and attention went into that dog? And it was much more so for James. So now you understand what I'm saying about disorientation. Now, let's say we're talking about a husband or a wife, or a significant other or some kind of a partner, right? Well, how much of our lives did we spend complaining, blaming? What are we going to do with that time? What do we, how do we explain to ourselves that we have nobody to complain about, that everything is our fault now? And that person, of course, was company. Maybe they always bitched at us. You this, you this. And then we got defensive. But we had a structure. It's like, I know what my life is going to be like. I'm going to get up this morning and it's going to be awful. He or she is going to be blaming me, or they is going to be blaming me or angry at me, and then I can be angry at them. And I knew who I was and what to do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And now it's like, it's quiet around here. I have nothing to distract me from my own insanity.
I'd like to give another couple of examples.
Go right ahead.
Well, one is changing residence, whether it's from like our most recent move, from the country to the city, and wow, what a culture shock that can be. And I felt a lot of disorientation. And prior to that, we'd moved from a city to the country, and I was very disoriented then. Uh, Another transition is, suppose you graduate from school and you go move to where the job is, and oh my God, I had a structure of being a student. I knew what to do. I knew what the game was. And now it's a completely unfamiliar situation. What am I going to do now?
That's right. And when you move to a new place, you also tend to lose a lot of friends and
Yeah.
connections. So you have to start all over again. And who am I in this community? And are people going to like me? And or if I lose that lousy job that I hated so much, but what am I going to do for money? And is this job going to last? And what do I have to do in order to manage and to survive? And are they going to keep me? And what about if I lose a job or lose a career, I don't have the money. And so then all of a sudden, I can't even do the same recreational things that I used to because we have to pinch pennies, and suddenly everything. See, and this is my point. If you're getting my point, if anybody is getting my point,
Well, make your point.
my point is all of a sudden you have to think about everything.
Oh.
Now, the first thing, of course, is we know that grief takes up a lot of brain cells. I mean, it's like I'm so busy crying and grieving. I'm exhausted from grief, and I don't have a lot of brain cells left for anything else. But also, do you see what I'm saying? You use a lot of brain cells trying to figure out things that used to be automatic.
That's right.
How am I supposed to deal with this? How am I supposed to relate? What am I supposed to do with my time? What am I supposed to do with my energy? And who am I in the world? And how can I build up a new reality where, I know where I am again? And is that going to go away? And so all change involves loss. Even if it's change for the better, you're losing something that gave you structure,
Mm-hmm.
right? That, okay, supposing I say, I just can't do this show anymore. I'm too tired. I'm just too hurting. And I don't want to do it anymore. So then what would I do? Wednesday night would roll by, and I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to watch television? We don't have one. But anyway, even if I did. So what am I going to do? Oh, yeah. So you understand what I'm saying. Everything becomes a choice. Do I want everything to be a choice all over again? Or do I want a structure so that I can just relax and not think? I think people don't like thinking. So not only can we be ripped up emotionally, like we're losing all our friends, we move to a new city, or we lose our job, and maybe these friends weren't really friends, but I saw them all the time because we were at work together, and we could all complain about the boss, and I knew what was what, and now they're gone. It's like I have to start all over again, and so the more change, the more we have to start all over. And if we are impaired by grief, or if we are impaired cognitively, age, accumulated grief, depression, disappointment, drinking, all that stuff. We don't have that much to work with. So what's been happening to me is that I can't think. And I don't have the energy to get excited about anything anyway, because I'm grieving. But in addition to that, I'm having an identity crisis. Who am I? Where am I? And so often we'll go back to wanting the thing that we lost, even if we didn't want it. We don't seem to have a
No
whole
new
bunch of
comments as of
comments.
this point.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. So, James, is there anything else you would like to share on this topic before I try to wrap things up?
Well, obviously, when there's a change, particularly a big change, there's more stress. And so now you have that adding to the disorientation and using up more of those gray cells of the brain to where it's even harder to cope. So,
Yeah. Well, and I would like to
along with the
suggest.
aging process,
Yes, well,
where
we
you
have
don't
that
have
too.
that anymore either.
So I would like to suggest that a lot of the stress is really disorientation. So what I'd like you to do,
Oh, interesting.
right? I'd like you to think right now something that you may be losing now, or some change you're going through, or see what you're losing in the process of the change, even if it's a good change. Something familiar, something that gave you structure, that's something that told you who you were. Even if you were in an abusive situation and your partner keeps telling you that you're a useless piece of you know why. But, oh, I know who I am. I'm a useless piece of you know why. So I want you to think about, take a moment, I'm going to play the piano, and I want you to think about something that might be changing for you in your life now. What you may be losing that gave you structure, that gave you a sense of who you were, that gave you a sense of what to do with your time in your life. think about that right now, and I'm going to play a little music for you as you're doing that, and we'll see what comes out because I'm going to improvise something. Something coming to you? And then think about how you may be trying to go back to something where you knew who you were, like imagining yourself back there or focusing on the loss which kind of connects you to the past. And take a look at that and see what new issues and challenges you may be avoiding.
I could share mine. Well, I've had a change with my aging, such that I've had cognitive impairment come along and limit what I previously was driven by, which was ambition. Ambition to make my mark, so to speak. I did that in the field of hypnotherapy, for example, and I felt I was doing something to make my mark. And then now it's just, I don't have those kind of capacities that I had before, and gee, who am I now? I guess this is like what happens when people retire. It's like, who am I now without all these structures that I'm used to? So that's a big question for me, and I'm having to learn to reorient toward finding fulfillment in the little things in life and in the music that we create, and so on. So there it is for me. That's one of the major ones for me.
That's a very good example. So not only are you suffering from the impairment itself, but you are suffering from the loss of identity.
Yeah.
And the social group that even that at least you put yourself into, the things that made your life structured so you didn't have to think about every single little thing.
True.
And that takes up a lot of gray cells. So I hope that you have enjoyed this show and found it useful. And I hope that you like it and you love it and you share it with your friends. Because I know that you know people who are struggling with loss or with change, who may be going crazy, who might get some consolation or solace or wisdom from what we've shared tonight. So please share the show and come back every Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time for Granny Rocks, where I talk about whatever and play the piano. And also on Thursday nights, I do a program called Beth Green's Magical Piano Improvisations, and I basically just, play the piano with talking a little bit in between. And that's at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And continue to join us. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're not here tonight live, please write to me anyway. And I will answer you whenever. So,
There we are.
I love you, and we always appreciate your support.
Yeah, bye-bye for now.
Bye bye.